How's it going, everyone? My name is Mick Ambrose. You're watching All About Tech. Welcome back to another video. Today I just wanted to do just a very short video in regards to the new MacBook Pro that Apple have just announced. It is a refresh that has been widely anticipated. There were lots of rumours that it was going to be like a new 14-inch MacBook because of the release of the 16-inch MacBook Pro last year. And over the last 12 months, I've been really impressed with Apple with some of their product launches. They fixed the 15-inch MacBook Pro with the Magic Keyboard with an awesome display. They then fixed the MacBook Air, gave that a Magic Keyboard. They've fixed the keyboard in the 13-inch now with introducing the Magic Keyboard and new CPUs, 10th gen CPUs on a couple of their models, not all of them, which I'm going to speak about in just a second. They recently released the iPhone SE, which is a really good value proposition for people. And the iPhone 11 series in itself, I recently picked up an 11. Just because I wanted to change, and I've been really impressed with the A13 Bionic and how good it is. Yeah, the display on it isn't amazing, but it is a good display nonetheless. So what I wanted to quickly talk about in this video is the launch of this 13-inch MacBook Pro. They literally launched it today, and there's only a few videos online by other YouTubers so far. But the reason why I wanted to kind of just make this video is because, in my personal opinion, I'm a bit disappointed and underwhelmed by this launch. I know with COVID going on, they might be kind of holding back on what they want to announce. But as you can see here, we've got all new MacBook Pros here. But the thing that grinds my gears is that the baseline, the first two models of the MacBook Pro 13-inch still have this 8th generation Intel Core i5 CPU. And in 2020, when you're releasing a new laptop, you need to be providing the latest generation CPUs as standard. Really, you shouldn't be putting an 8th gen 2-year-old CPU. Yeah, they doubled the baseline storage to 256, but it's still only got 8 gigs of RAM. It's still got Intel Iris Plus graphics, which is integrated graphics. Only the two Thunderbolt 3 ports. And they're still charging the same amount as what they did previously. Yeah, it's now got a fantastic keyboard, but the butterfly keyboard was pants to begin with. That's not something that they can replace and say, oh yeah, we can charge whatever, we can charge the same as before. This is exactly the same, but with the keyboard it should have had in the first place. And they're charging the exact same for it, but with now a 2-year-old chipset. If you want to get the 10th gen CPUs, you need to go for a minimum spend of £1,800, which, in my opinion, is just extortionate. You can get top Windows based laptops with 10th gen CPUs for around what the baseline is for the MacBook Pro to start with. I know you're getting the build quality of the MacBook, etc., but that is just so much money. And the main reason why I wanted to create this video is because if you were to spec this with an i7 10th gen and 512 gigs of storage with the 16 gigs of RAM, basically to match the 16-inch baseline model MacBook Pro, the bare minimum that you get with the 16-inch, you're paying $2,000 for it. And it's especially worse in the UK, obviously, because the pricing in the UK in pounds is exactly the same as what it is in dollars. So we in the UK end up paying a bit more when you look at the exchange rate. But if you look at this 16-inch MacBook Pro, you get a 9th gen i7. Yeah, it's a generation older than the 10th gen, but it's still a fantastic processor nonetheless, and it turbos to 0.4 megahertz higher than the 10th gen anyway. So you're not really going to see as much of a performance gain there. Yeah, it's running slower memory, but at the same time, you're not going to see an awfully big difference there. The faster memory really helps for AMD-based CPUs. Intel's not so much, because Intel-based CPUs are so well optimized now, because they've dominated for years and years and years, and everybody used Intel as their baseline. You get dedicated graphics with an AMD Radeon Pro. You don't get dedicated graphics at all in this 13-inch. You get the 512 gig SSD. You get the better display with the smaller bezels. You get double the amount of Thunderbolt 3 ports, and you get probably much better cooling because it's a bigger chassis for the same, for pretty much the same components. Yeah, you've got an extra GPU to cool, but the chassis is bigger, like I say. That's why I probably wouldn't even bother going with an i9 in here. But that's what I wanted to kind of iterate, because it's only... It sounds like a big difference, yeah, £400. But if you're buying one of these laptops as a workhorse for your professional career, or whatever it is that you're doing, if you're not a heavy user, I wouldn't even bother going with the 10th gen CPUs. I'll just carry on with the 8th gen because they're still plenty powerful enough. But I just think if you're desperate to get an upgraded CPU, I'd just go with the 16-inch MacBook Pro, because a lot of let's face it, most people are gonna take advantage of this fantastic 24-month interest-free finance on it anyway, and the difference is about 15 pounds a month, or if it will probably work out the same in dollars as well. So, do I think it is a viable purchase to go with a 10th gen 13-inch MacBook Pro? I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced, especially when for an extra £400 you get quite a lot more laptop. In the case of the 16-inch, you get the bigger, better display with reduced bezels. You get a dedicated GPU, which in a laptop makes a huge difference. You get the bigger surface area, so it's probably more comfortable of an experience to type on, etc. It's already got the Magic Keyboard. You get double the amount of Thunderbolt 3 ports. One of the biggest criticisms of the 13-inch is that you can only charge it on one side. So say if you're laying in bed with it on your lap or whatever, and you're on the wrong side of the bed, it's just awkward. Nonetheless, it's fantastic that they've replaced the Magic Keyboard in all of these laptops. What I'd be more inclined to do is, just because the 8th gen chips are still good chips. I have a Xiaomi Mi Notebook Pro that has an 8th gen i7, and it's still quick. It's still quick with 16 gigs of RAM, and it's still quick. But if you need that performance, and you're looking at speccing out a MacBook Pro to around this sort of price range, I wouldn't really bother. I'd go with a 16-inch MacBook Pro. You'd probably find it's a better. You'll probably find that you'll be better off making that decision. Obviously, it's something that you have to kind of weigh up the pros and cons of each kind of aspect to each laptop, and then take the price into consideration as to what you want to purchase. Like I said, if you're a heavy user, you'll probably appreciate a slightly bigger laptop. The 16-inch MacBook Pro it's still very, very much portable. It's still a thin portable laptop. It's not exactly a gaming laptop, is it? And you get a lot of extra for what you pay that extra £400/dollars for. So that's all I really wanted to talk about in this video. Just thought I'd make you guys aware, anyone that was looking to get a 13-inch MacBook Pro. Like I said, I've never been a huge Apple fan. I've always been Android. I've always been Windows. But like I said, the last year I've been really impressed with what Apple have been doing, and this 13-inch MacBook Pro release was just a little bit underwhelming for me. So if you like this video, if you found it helpful at all, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys out in the next video. Peace out.